I'm a native Californian, and I'm proud of the fact I'm from California, but I'm also chagrined at times when I see what California does. Not too long ago, the governor and the state legislature pushed a bill through called California AB 1493. This bill was designed to cut emissions from tailpipes of vehicles by 26%, I believe it was, by 2016. Easier way to say that is that the average mileage for a vehicle, and this includes SUVs, so cars and SUVs, should be 43 miles per gallon by 2016. And people in California, at least the majority of them, thought that's a great idea. Of course, most of the people in California aren't engineers or aren't scientists and don't understand. You can't just mandate physics. This is something that physics will not let you do. So, 11 northeastern states adopted this resolution, AB 1493. One of them was Vermont. So the automobile industry wanted to sue someone to stop this bill because it was not going to be doable and that it wouldn't have any effect on the climate anyway. So the lawsuit was brought in Vermont as well as California, but Vermont heard the case first in federal court. The automobile industry asked me, and this was for no reimbursement, I did not charge any expenses for my time, to testify as an expert witness on the climate aspect of this issue. Now, there were a lot of issues with this. Does the state have a right to make laws, or does the federal government have the right in Congress? And so those kind of legal issues were talked about. There were engineering issues talked about. Can manufacturers even make a car that will do this that people will buy? Yes, they can make a 43 mile per gallon vehicle, but will people buy it? And the marketplace has already spoken that said no. These cars are too small, they don't have the features people need for their daily lives and so on. So that was part. And another part was, will it have any effect on the climate? What is the intent of this bill? So I spoke to that, and I was able to demonstrate that this bill, even if the entire country adopted it, would not have any effect on the climate, and even if the entire world adopted this bill, we could not measure the impact on the climate. It would be so tiny. Well, the numbers of science spoke, and that's what they were. Under cross-examination, they were not challenged. The judge, in his decision, wrote what I had as truth, and yet he decided the other way anyway. So now we're in a battle, I think, in our country. Do judges have the right to declare these things, or is this the role of Congress? And I think Congress thinks it should be Congress's role, as you can imagine. Most environmentalists, however, think that judges should have a role, or judges should be the one to set this rule, because you can always get a judge somewhere to agree with you somehow. So our country is really in a struggle right now. Who has the authority to set these kind of limits and emissions? And how that is going to go is going to be interesting to see. But I think just from fundamental science, what I demonstrated is that this bill, and you can apply it to many others, will not do anything to change the climate. Therefore, the intent of the bill will not be achieved. And then as a taxpayer, I would just say, so why would you ever want to adhere to such a bill?